Hi everyone, this is Nim Golkar. Good morning. It is Sunday here in Sydney, Australia, and this morning I actually put up a post on social media which was talking about how to not let someone ruin your mood and your entire day. So I thought that why not talk about that, because that's exactly what happened to me this morning. Something happened that actually threatened to put me in a bad mood, so which is exactly why I shared that article on social media. And so I thought I'll do a quick video to show you step by step how, when sort of things go wrong, or things threaten to put you in a bad mood, or people say or do things that make you really upset, how to actually get back into a relatively normal mood so that you can do all the things that you had planned to do on that day. So as you can see, I'm in my car now, and I'm on my way to the office. Now, yes, I know it is Sunday and it is supposed to be a holiday, but because I'm in the coaching space and because I have clients sort of globally placed, there's no such thing as a weekend for me, so I tend to work 7 days a week sometimes, and that's exactly what's happening. I do have a meeting first thing this morning, so in an hour's time, and I have to get a few things done before that. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about this whole thing about how to get back into a good mood when someone or something has spoiled the mood for you. Now, you may have also experienced something like that. Maybe you wake up in the morning supercharged, super enthusiastic, and that's exactly how I was feeling this morning. Trust me, I woke up in a really good mood, and then I happened to check my messages, and there was this really nasty message, from some social media troll criticizing some of the work that I do. Now, I have no problems with criticism. In fact, I welcome constructive criticism. But when it is filled with hate, or when it is designed to pull you down, then it can get a bit frustrating. So when I read that message, at first I was quite taken aback, and because I'm not used to it. I get so much love and affection from all of you that reading a message that is sort of caustic and rude and filled with hate does fill me with shock. So when I read it, it actually threatened, like I said earlier, to put me in a bad mood, which meant that my entire Sunday would have been ruined, and I wouldn't have been able to get all the things done that I had planned to do. So I'm going to drive off now to the office, and when I get there, I'm going to talk a little bit more about this to show you how exactly I managed to stop myself from having an unproductive morning. Okay, so now I've just walked into the office, and this is typically where some of my team sits, and that's just one of my standees, which I use for my workshops, my whiteboard, my screen, and my studio where I do all my interviews, my YouTube shows. Even Sunday Chats with Nim is done there. You may have recognized that setup. So that's just a little bit of my office, and I'm going to make a quick cup of coffee and continue with today's topic. All right, so see you soon. Okay, so the kettle has just finished boiling, which means it's time for me to have a cup of tea. And let's get back to the topic that we're talking about today. So like I said before, when I set off for the office, I received this message in the morning from some troll on social media criticizing some of the work I do, and I was very, very close to getting into a bad mood, because of course it upset me, it frustrated me. So I'm going to share with you some steps on how I managed to get back into a relatively normal mood, because like I said before, I have a busy day today, and I have to make sure that that I don't allow myself to remain in a negative mood, right? So the first and most important thing to remember is self-awareness. Okay, self-awareness is key, because that way, when you recognize that you are very, very close to getting into a negative mind space, when you recognize that you are on the edge of the mountain, then there is at least some hope that you're able to pull yourself back. Now, when I was actually younger, a bad mood used to take me unawares. But now that I've been practicing self-awareness for many, many years, I am able to sense just by noticing that I'm breathing faster or that my heart rate has increased, I'm able to sense that I'm very close to getting into a negative mind space, or very close to getting into a bad mood. Okay, and like I said before, if you're aware that that's what's happening inside your mind, you have some hope of pulling yourself back from that dangerous edge of the mountain. So that's the first tip that I had to share. Just bear with me, I'm going to throw off this tea bag. And then the second thing I do is I take a deep breath. Okay, as soon as I sense that I'm very, very close to this bad mood, I take a deep breath. And then I think about 3 things in my life for which I'm truly, truly, truly grateful. And once I have sort of gone through that list in my mind, then I try to imagine how life would be if I did not have those 3 things. Now, what happens when I think in this manner is that it puts things into perspective. And suddenly, things don't seem so bad. Okay, so that's the second tip. The first tip was to become self-aware of exactly what's happening in your mind. So recognizing that you're very close to getting into a bad mood. And the second thing is to take a deep breath, think of 3 things for which you're truly grateful, and then imagine how much worse life would be if those 3 things weren't present in your life. Now, like I said, it's all about shifting perspectives. And when you think with gratitude for what you have, you give yourself permission to forgive that person or that situation that is making you move towards a bad mood. Okay, so I'm going to take a quick pause, and I have a few things to show you, so I will continue in a moment. Okay, so there's one other thing one important thing I needed to show you as well as talk about, and that is goals. Okay, so I firmly believe, I've always believed, that goals that are not written down are goals that will not be achieved. So I would encourage you all to write down your goals for the day. I have here what is known as it's a really cute little book called a goals journal. And it's got a really nice quote at the bottom, and it says, every day do something that will inch you closer to a better tomorrow. I think that's super awesome. So in this book, in this goals journal, I typically write down my daily goals, my weekly goals, even my sort of 3 monthly goals. And then the reason I'm sharing this with you today is because whenever I feel that something has upset me, a situation or something someone said, immediately I try to think about what are the things I have planned for the day. I check out my diary or my goals journal. I see the list of things I have planned for the day. Like for instance, for today, I have a few meetings, I have a few client sessions. I also have to catch up on some emails and that kind of stuff. And of course, spend some quality time with the kids. So as soon as I sort of bring this into focus, all the things that have to be done, suddenly I realize that time is precious and that I can't afford to spend any time feeling bad about something someone said or did. For example, that nasty message I received this morning. Suddenly I realized that I have so many worthy things to achieve today that I don't need to focus on some social media troll who has said something that really has got no basis. It wasn't constructive criticism. It was just a nasty message, right? So when I see my goals written down, it puts everything into focus. And the last thing I do is I use the power of visualization. I don't know how many of you use visualization as a technique, but what that basically is that I close my eyes and I imagine how I will feel after I have accomplished all the goals that I have set for the day, how life will feel after I've achieved those goals. And research has actually shown that Olympian athletes use the technique of visualization to spur themselves on to victory. And also research has shown that a lot of successful people from different industries use this technique to build the life of their dreams. Because when you're able to see the results before they actually happen, everything else fades out of focus, including your impending bad mood. Okay, so those were the strategies I used this morning to put me back into a relatively normal mood, so that hopefully I can achieve at least a large chunk of the goals that I have set for myself. So that was it for today. Now, this was a very different type of video. As you all know, typically I do 2 videos a week. On Tuesdays are the communication skills ones. On Fridays are the self-confidence, self-worth, those kind of videos, but they are in a much more formal setup. So there's my team that's helping me record it. There's professional lighting, the right angle, that kind of stuff. But today it was just raw footage, me talking to you and sharing my experience. If you've liked this particular format of video, please let me know through your comments so that I can start working on some more like this, where I can share some real life lessons from daily living with you all. So that's it for today. I am off to my first meeting, and my tea has gone cold as I am talking, so I might have to make another one. And I'll see you soon with my next video. Love you all. Have a fantastic day ahead. Bye bye.